I'm Shelley Miller. I'm a registered nurse and a holistic therapist. I began doing research into medical marijuana when 3 of my friends came down with cancer. I was shocked to find how little research had been done here in the U.S. The research that has been done in other countries showed how beneficial medical marijuana can be for a variety of conditions. One of the groups that has shown the most promise are veterans with post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD. Here are some of their stories.
I wouldn't have flashbacks where I'd just think I'm back in Afghanistan and have to fight people or anything like that. I would just feel that I'd have to be on my guard all the time because I didn't really learn how to turn that off. It gives me the ability to take a breath, figure out what is happening, ask myself, why am I so angry right now? At least with marijuana, I can slow myself down and think about it. And if I don't get to the solution, I've at least calmed myself down to the point where I'm not going to do anything stupid. That's what I really like about it.
My guest today is Dr. Sue Sisley, one of the front runners of the medical marijuana program in Arizona. And Dr. Sisley, you have had a roller coaster year.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating ride over the last, actually 5 years of battling the government at virtually all levels, trying to get the study to the point where it could finally be implemented.
What they've done is they're basically not approving IRBs on smoked marijuana.
We can't get marijuana from NIDA. We've been waiting 9 months. 3 of the 8 projects that will be affected and harmed by this NIDA monopoly, by the delays here. So the other 5 will be able to get underway, right, because those are just observational trials. Our study that we're embarking on is so important because our trial will be the very first step to putting raw marijuana through the entire FDA drug development process. So our study is FDA approved since back in 2011, and this is a phase 2, so it's an early phase drug development trial. And if the data from phase 2 looks favorable, the FDA may allow us to move into phase 3. And after phase 3, those drugs then are on the market. I spend hours and hours each day educating the public, whoever will listen, about the barriers to marijuana research. I talk to the janitor and to elected officials and anybody who will hear me out that this is an abomination in this country, that legitimate science is being trumped by politics. The fact that there is a government-enforced monopoly on the only legal supply of marijuana for any FDA-approved trials. It's a ridiculous system. It's the only Schedule I drug in this country that has this hurdle where, you know, all other Schedule I drugs, I can purchase them at any research lab in the country, but only marijuana has to deal with this single monopoly. And the problem is if NIDA doesn't like your study, they can simply refuse to sell you study drug, and then your study becomes impossible to implement. Our study would be the first and only randomized controlled trial in the world looking at whole plant marijuana for the treatment of PTSD. So it's a really crucial study to get underway. Our vets are desperately seeking information about this plant, and our only chance of getting that is going to countries where it's already federally legal. For instance, Israel, they already have all the strains of marijuana that we've requested from the FDA and NIDA. And they have agreed to let us utilize that. And they certainly have a large population of veterans suffering with PTSD. So they have pretty much everything we need there. And so we're hoping to create these parallel studies. Just so everyone is aware, we are 100% committed to conducting our study here in the U.S. and getting this underway so that we can help the veterans here who've been trying who've been advocating alongside of us all these years.